So it'll basically inflate your sound.
Indeed, that's where we got the idea for the
inflate.
For the name.
I see.
Inflate everything.
Was that your name?
No.
Great for vocals. Great for vocals.
Great for vocals.
And sparkle, that kind of air on top.
Right. And what about on time mix?
Also on a time mix, so it can be used on individual instruments. It can be used on a time mix just to give it more beef, if you like. So many uses. Very useful little tool.
What's the latest hot release from Sonnox?
The latest plugin was the Oxford suppressor.
Mm-hmm. And what does that do?
It started life as a lot of people came to us and said, there's a real need for a good de-esser. A lot of workstations come with standard de-essers, but for really what we pride ourselves on is making sort of high-end, high-quality processing plugins. And so we started looking at how we could make a de-esser that sounded really, really good and had real control. And it kind of evolved, and it became a lot more than a de-esser when we realised what we were doing. It became more, we call it suppressor because it can suppress all kinds of different frequencies, not just S's from vocal. It works full band from 20 Hz all the way up to 20K.
Mm-hmm.
So it can take out all kinds of problem frequencies. It's a dynamic EQ, frequency conscious compressor, if you like. So any problems down the low end, sort of thumps and things, it can remove them dynamically. Been talking to people that are starting to use that instead of an EQ because they don't always want to apply an EQ that's always cutting, because only occasionally the problem comes up, with a vocal, perhaps only occasionally gets a little bit nasal. When that problem comes, then it can be, those frequencies can be compressed. So it's a clever tool. It's the suppressor there on the screen.
It's a suppressor. So it started out as a de-esser, and now it suppresses other stuff.
Yeah, the name's a play really, a suppressor to suppress frequencies, and superessor, super de-esser. Whoever thought of that was a bright person.
It's very visual, as you see from the screen. It's got a huge graphic display, so you can really visualise what's going on. You can actually now see where your problem frequencies are.
Right.
It just makes life a lot easier. Right. And you can take out only what's in between this band. Whereas you can set up an EQ to feed a sidechain or a compressor, but the compressor will just compress the entire spectrum rather than just the problematic frequencies that you're kind of interested in. So.
I see. How many plugins you guys have? Have you ever really stopped to think, to count?
Actual
quite a few
plugins. We've got 7 plugins in the range.
7 plugins
on different platforms. So we've got multiple different plugins to support for different platforms. But actual
everything from TDM to PowerCore
through PowerCore, Cubase, Logic, you name it.
Right.
We only actually developed native plugins in the last couple of years, and that really opened up the door to sort of every door, if you like. There's out there selling a lot of native plugins.
And now let me talk a little bit about where I am. I'm in a very picturesque part of the country, and I'm sure there may be some other equally picturesque parts of England. But this is quite nice out here. Whose idea was it, and how come you guys are here and not in the middle of London?
Well, that's the historical answer again. Sonny Oxford arose really because there were 5 people from SSL. SSL is based around here, just a few miles away. And there were 5 people who worked for SSL. This is going back 20 years or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were employees of SSL, we all lived around here. When we moved on to set up what was originally a company called Oxford Digital, but was wholly owned by Sony, a research department in audio for Sony. Because we lived around here, then we found premises around here, and that grew up and became what was finally called Sonny Oxford. And a similar story for Sonnox, really, because the team that was in place that moved from Sonny Oxford to Sonnox was all based around this area. When we moved out of the Sony building, we were looking for a building within a fairly close radius. And we found this building, which is just terrific. It's on a huge great country estate called Cornbury in the middle of Oxfordshire. And it's a barn, converted barn. We've got an upstairs and a downstairs, just the right size for us. It's a lovely building. and it's in the middle, as I say, of a country estate, so we look out of the window and, well, we're not working, of course. We look out the window, you see fields and trees and sheep, and there's a river at the bottom of the hill, and it's lovely.
Yeah, it must be.
For software, it's an ideal environment for designing, for writing software, because it's quiet, it's pleasant, it's warm. You've picked a nice day, the sun's shining.
Yeah.
And it's a nice place to be. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely, and very historic. I've been through the city of Woodstock on the way here.
Drove through Woodstock. Yeah. I don't know how many hundreds of years old that is, but
So very. So you don't miss London, the hustle and the bustle. You don't miss the trains and the double-decker buses.
fresh country air. It's good for creative. Go and suck in some country air.
Absolutely. Well, this is very impressive. I'm very happy that you guys let us in, and thank you for giving us your time.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Nice to see you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everybody.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.